Woodman worked for a Vancouver-based mining company. Progress Metals' operation is in eastern Burkina Faso, near its border with Niger. Both countries are former French colonies. The area is under growing threat from armed jihadists. For a look at what has given rise to the unrest there, I want to bring in Philip Kleinfeld. He's a freelance writer who contributes to IRA News, an agency that focuses on crisis area. And Philip was just in Burkina Faso and joins me now live from London. So, Philip, it's only in the past year, right, that Islamist militants have moved in to this area in such a big way. How are they able to make inroads there?
Thanks for having me. So they've been moving into Burkina Faso since 2016. That was when the first major attack was in the capital, Ouagadougou, and then late 2016 in the north. But you're right, yes, in the east, close to the border with Niger, which is where this attack on the Canadian man happened. It's been happening for about a year. I just returned from a reporting research trip to the east a few weeks ago. I met a lot of local officials and local analysts who essentially describe the jihadist strategy as extremely smart. They are going in there and they are tapping into long-standing social grievances that the local population and community has primarily against the state. And that might, for example, be that they don't feel like they have access to gold mining sites. A lot of this eastern area is a protected park that falls within UNESCO and Ramsar international conventions. People feel, for example, that they don't have access to the land, that they can't graze their cattle. And people also feel that there is an absence of basic social and public services by the Burkina-based state. And so what the Islamists essentially come in and say is, you know, we'll get rid of the states, we'll get rid of the soldiers, we'll get rid of the local officials. You can go and mine wherever you want. You can go and graze your cattle wherever you want. You can go and till your land wherever you want. And that is the strategy which enables them to have some degree of popular legitimacy. Though, of course, the costs for civilians as well as the Burkina Faso government and foreign nationals is very high.
And so just how dangerous has this area become?
It's become very dangerous primarily for Burkinabe soldiers. The primary people attacked in the east are the Burkinabe military. Convoy after convoy is attacked by IEDs. It's also increasingly becoming a danger for civilians. Teachers are on the front line, teachers that teach in French rather than Arabic, which is all of them. Religious leaders or anyone essentially who differs from the authority of the jihadists is liable to be attacked. And this is what we're seeing now in the east, is a growing number of civilians attacked, and a dynamic that is very similar to the north of Burkina Faso, where we see 50, 60,000 people now displaced by violence.
Did it surprise you that we learned of the kidnapping and then so quickly we learned that he was murdered, that he was killed?
I mean, I'm not sure what the Canadian government's position is on paying ransom. The jihadist groups in this region, there is, they operate often as a criminal network, and so a foreign national will mean the possibility of a large ransom payment, and that is why there have been foreign nationals from all over the world in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso who've been kidnapped and held for months and years. So often it is rare to see a foreign national kidnapped and killed so quickly. In that sense, yeah, I was surprised.
What is the potential for this insurgency to travel out of Burkina Faso into neighboring countries?
Hi. It's worth saying that the insurgency in Burkina Faso in many ways is spillover from other countries. So just to put it in a bit more context, Burkina Faso is one of a number of countries in the Sahel. The Sahel is a belt of land beneath the Sahara Desert that stretches right across the African continent. It's been destabilized by Islamist militants over the past few years. A lot of people say that has its roots in the war in Libya in 2011. Then in 2012, you have this kind of big war emerge in Mali, and the jihadist groups, which have been in Mali for a long, long time, use it, exploit the chaos, and take over a series of kind of major cities and towns in northern Mali. There's a French intervention in 2013, in early 2013, that pushes them back. But since then, we've seen these jihadists in Mali push south. They pushed into the center of Mali, then they pushed into, neighboring Niger and Burkina Faso. And now what we're seeing is groups in Burkina Faso sort of shift towards from the east and the north to the southwest. And they are now within touching distance of a number of countries on the coastline of West Africa. That could include Benin, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, rather. So yeah, it's the product of regional spillover, and I think there could be further regional spillover.
Philip, thank you for taking the time to talk to us about this.